Morning. President Vicari, I don't think he's going to be here today, so I'm going to be chairing the meeting. First thing we're going to do, we're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, one God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Lee, can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Maurice Mabon,
Present.
Commissioner Ola Morris, Commissioner Charles Jackson,
Present.
Commissioner Darnell Lyles, Attorney Jewel Harris Jr.,
Present.
Executive Director Rhonda Anderson, Finance Manager Jerome Foster. And that's the end of roll call.
Okay, with 4 commissioners present, we have a quorum to conduct business. We're going to be moving on to certification pursuant to Indiana law, section 5-14-1.5-6.1. I certify that prior to the start of today's meeting, there was an executive session held and there was nothing discussed in the executive session that was not indicated in the posted notice of the executive session. And being in compliance with Indiana statute, there are no final votes taken during the executive session. Are there any commissioners that dissent to the certification? Hearing none. Move on to the minutes, Madam Secretary. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved, properly second. Are there any questions regarding the minutes? Hearing none. Commissioner, can I get a roll call, please? I'm sorry, Secretary, can I get a roll call?
Commissioner Lyles.
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Morris.
Yes.
Commissioner Mabon.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes, 0 noes, the minutes of December 4th have been approved. Moving on to new business.
Mr. President,
Sure.
just before we go on to new business, this could be considered a matter of old business.
Sure.
Doesn't require board action, but I did want to explain something as a matter of old business from the December 4th meeting. Can I proceed?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so at the December 4th meeting, there was a vote taken on what was agenda item 2.5, and it was a motion to approve task order number 51 to the master services agreement between GSD and American Structure Point for structural engineering services for the garage extension in an amount not to exceed $20,750. We had a unique circumstance at the last meeting where we had 1 commissioner absent, 2 commissioners that abstained, and 2 commissioners that voted in favor of the agenda item. It was declared by the board president at the time that the measure had passed because a majority of the voting members present voted in favor of this measure. Pursuant to Robert's Rules of Order, that would have been correct. However, there's a state statute that deals with sanitary districts, and it specifically requires that whatever the measure is, a majority of the board must approve any measures that are on the agenda. So that means there would have been 3 votes required, and that didn't happen for that agenda item. So just for purposes of the record, we should note, and I'm asking the secretary to do that, that agenda item 2.5 from the December 4th meeting failed.
Okay, with that, have any actions been taken? Okay, all righty. Any commissioners have any questions regarding?
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Clarity? No comments. Thank you. Moving on to new business. Executive Director Anderson.
Jerome. 2.0.
Thank you. I recommend a motion to approve and ratify GSD payroll earnings for period ending November 6, 2023 through November 19th, 2023 in the amount of $257,665.78.
Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Foster regarding 2.1? What is the board pleasure for 2.1? Can I get a second?
Second.
Any additional questions? Hearing none. Can I get a vote, Ms. Willett?
Commissioner Lyles?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yeah.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
4 ayes, 0 noes. 2.1 has been approved and passage. Moving on.
Item 2.2 is a motion to approve GSD Resolution Number SD 23-16, ratifying the merit pay distribution for the employees of the Gary Sanitary District for the year 2023. Whereas the management of Gary Sanitary District previously reviewed employee performance for the calendar year 2023 and calculated an appropriate amount of merit pay based on the district's policy. And whereas attached here too is the policy detailing the formula for calculating the amount to distribute. And whereas the executive director and finance manager recommend that the board approve the merit-based amounts for the years 2023.
On 2.2, I personally have some questions. We've already paid the merit payout, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, one of the challenges we had on the one merit pay resolution that we passed 2 weeks ago, we had a dollar amount in there, and in addition to that, Attorney, we also had a list of the amounts of the payment. So with this one here, we don't have a number. Say, for example, the one we approved last couple of weeks ago, we paid out $151,000. That was for the year 2022. In this resolution, we don't have the amount that we're paying out. We're not interested in the calculations are there, but we don't have the amount, and we don't know, for example, if we're paying out $200,000 or $180,000. What are the corrective efforts that can?
I think we need to find out if that detail is available. Mr. Foster?
I can discuss with payroll to have that information provided to you.
Yeah, I think your basic comment, Commissioner Maybon, is you want the detailed breakdown that you found in the resolution for 2022 that doesn't exist in the 23 version, right?
There's not a number in there.
Right.
And say, for example, hypothetically, if we paid out $200,000, how do we know that 25% of that merit pay is going to one employee? Matter of fact, we have a list that was provided to the commissioners at the last board meeting when we approved the previous 2022 merit resolution. And so,
Ms. Burns, will you have that information?
so we're going to need that. I mean, for disclosure, yeah, we know that amount. We're here for ratification of that.
Right.
I'm not going to hold up a vote for that, but we do need that number, and we do need the worksheet to follow.
So can you get that printed out and include it as part of the packet for this meeting? You're saying if it won't hold up the vote, we can still include it as a matter of record
Yeah.
if you can get that printed out for us, and you can proceed with the vote. She's reported what the number is, but
Yeah.
if that satisfies you, then you can go on with a motion.
Okay. Any additional questions regarding the 2.2? Hearing none, you've heard the overview. What's the desire of the board?
So move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved, properly second. Any additional discussions on 2.2? Hearing none. Can you get a vote, Ms. Lee?
Commissioner Lyles?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes, 0 noes, 2.2 has been approved. 2.4, I'm sorry, 2.3.
2.3 is a motion to approve release of retainage to Grimmer Construction for the Lake Street Force Main relocation project, GSD project number SD 23-01. So this was on the, I think it was on the agenda for the last board meeting, but there was concern about compliance with Grimmer. And Todd McCain has presented information regarding their compliance, including a letter from the local union from which they get their employees, and also the percentage of times they were in compliance with the city residence ordinance. So we are recommending approval of item 2.3.
On 2.3, do we have retainage release requirements, Attorney?
They're included in the agreement between the contractor and the district.
Okay, shouldn't the certified payroll, do we get the certified payroll at the end of the job, Mr.?
It's not at the end of the job, it's sitting on the warrant. It's got, they provide another certified payroll. Rest of the year. Also, want to add 3 things. Last, Alice now, we got November 23rd, and December 2nd, there's a 40% compliance, and December 19th, there's a 14%. We give them as it's not audit.
What's your suggestion? Do you think we should approach them the same way we approach Mets, have them get a letter from a union indicating that? Oh, that's it? Oh. Mr. McCain, I'm sleeping up here. We appreciate your efforts on that. We're not going to hold up the retainage, but we'd like to be a bit more proactive in the initial stages of letting a contract. Is there any additional questions regarding 2.3? Hearing none, what is the board's pleasure?
So move for approval. Second.
It's been moved, properly second. Any additional questions? Hearing none, Ms. Lee, can I get a vote?
Commissioner Lyles?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes, 0 noes, 2.3 has been approved. Moving on.
2.4, a motion to approve an award of bid to LGS Plumbing for the sanitary sewer repair at the vicinity of 3972 Pierce Street for an amount not to exceed $48,578. The engineering department requested quotes for the sanitary sewer repairs located at 3972 Pierce Street. The existing sanitary sewer has lost its structural integrity and collapsed in the alleyway, thereby causing a cave-in with infiltration of sand and groundwater. To prevent a surface cave-in and becoming a pedestrian and vehicular hazard, repairs are necessary. The work comprises of remove and replace existing 12-inch diameter pipe with 12-inch diameter PVC SDR 35 plus or minus 42 linear feet, starting 88 feet from manhole number 496, going north towards manhole number 495. The engineering department prepared the specification and solicited bids from 13 contractors that are listed in your board packet, and the three contractors responded to the request for quotes. And the following summarizes the bids. LGS Plumbing was the low bid at $48,578. Gary Up Construction Company, Inc., bid $57,500, and Alex Met Sewers bid $61,100. We recommend the award of the sanitary sewer repairs at 3972 Pierce Street to LGS Plumbing, Inc., for amount not to exceed $48,578.
Executive Director, is this an emergency? I mean, it sounds like it's one when you're talking about some of the things that are occurring, but for the record,
Eric, Tom, can you come and elaborate on this?
We're not considering this cave-in as an emergency. The sewer has collapsed, but there's no cave-in on the surface. The sewage is somewhat flowing through, so at this time, we're not declaring this as an emergency.
so is this something that has to be done right away?
Yeah.
It's not an emergency.
It's the right-of-way is what I'm getting tripped on. The sewer is collapsed, and it needs to be repaired as quickly as.
Okay, the sewer collapse.
Yes.
Okay, the sewer collapse, I consider it an emergency. So we're gonna,
Okay.
It's something
See, when the sewer starts to back up into nearing people's homes, then that's an emergency, and we don't really necessarily wait for the board. We get contact the
Right.
director, and we take care of that problem.
but you say the sewer
as quickly.
collapsed.
Yes, the
When
sewer,
it's collapsed, it's, okay.
but
So,
the water is still,
so now you're taking in
Getting by.
groundwater, you're taking in sand,
yes.
okay,
And if it gets any worse, then it will be an emergency.
okay. Well, I'm gonna deem it as an emergency. It's a collapse. Okay. Is that okay with you, Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Are there any additional questions on 2.4? Hearing none, you've heard the overview. What is the board's pleasure?
Move to pass it. Second.
It's been moved properly second. Any additional comments? Hearing none. Can I get a vote, Madam Secretary?
Commissioner Lyles?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris?
Yeah.
Commissioner Maybach?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes, 0 noes, 2.4 has been approved. Moving on to claims.
Thank you. I recommend a motion to approve and ratify GSD claim numbers 3420 through 3661 in the amount of $1,179,205.57.
Question on claims, Mr. Foster? On the first page, I see where there's 3 invoices. They're all dated the same. Mr. McCain, you might want to, your PM is you, correct? Okay, we got 3 invoices for Dapper Miller Enterprise. They're all dated the same day. They're all the same numbers, 1192. Is that 3 invoices actually, or is that? Well, the claim shows it being the same day. Shows 3 invoices, 1128, 1128, and 1128. I just want to make sure it's not duplicate. It's the same. If you go back and take a look at it, that's it. Beg your pardon?
Were they submitted the same day?
Yes,
Why? Okay.
can I say something? Actually, on the claims list, they were submitted all the same day. But if you look, it was one on the 12/12, the other one was 12/13, and the other one was 12/14. It's indicated on the
Mr. President,
claims.
if I could ask a question, Mr. Foster, are the invoice numbers different, or are they all the same as well?
There's no invoice numbers.
That part I would have to take a look.
Okay.
But on this document right here, it would indicate the invoice number, or it's the actual number of invoices that came in.
Yeah, if you can make sure that they do that going forward, it'll alleviate some of the confusion. If the numbers are, the dollar figures are all the same, and they're all submitted on the same date, it looks like it's a duplicate. If there's not different invoice numbers.
That's
They
no
look like
problem.
triplicates,
Right.
but no invoice numbers, the same orders. So if you look at it, I mean, the food orders are the same price, so there's no deviation in price or menu item. So, and then, do you utilize an invoice number?
Yes, you can't put it into RDS without the invoice number, and it detects if there's a series of similar numbers, including if the dollar amount is the same.
Okay.
So there's no way for it to actually go into the system.
Okay.
So did the invoice number just not make the report? Like, it has to be there in order for you to put it in, right? It just
Correct.
didn't make it on the report itself? All right, yeah, let's just make sure on the version that we keep for the minutes has the invoice number included on it.
Fair enough.
This particular claim, we spent like $7,200 on food. So maybe the invoices are late, and if the invoices are coming in late, we need to make sure that when we expedite them and that there's not some sort of a stoppage in paying these invoices. Any additional questions and claims? Hearing none, can I get a vote? Slee?
Did everyone vote on it?
No, we haven't got a vote on claims yet. I'm sorry, can I get a motion from the board? I'm having a good day.
So moved, Mr. Mayvon.
Second, Mr. Mayvon.
Okay. Any additional comments? It's been moved, properly second. Can I now get a vote?
Commissioner Lyles?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Commissioner Morris? Commissioner Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
4 ayes, 0 noes. Claims have been approved. We're moving on to informational updates. Mrs. Anderson, plan activities.
Yes, I only have one thing, and this is concerning the HMI project. 6 out of 9 clients have been installed, and our old SCADA system and our new SCADA system is currently running in parallel. And the reason we're doing that is so that a number of us have the opportunity to scroll through the new system to make sure that the data is correct and everything is running properly. And once this testing is done, then we will disconnect the old system. I had the opportunity to show Commissioner Morris our both the SCADA systems that they're sitting side by side in my office. And we're really excited about the new system, because the old system, the software and hardware was obsolete, and the new system will ensure that we have reliability and the support that we need to run the SCADA system. So that's all I have.
Was the SCADA system affected by the hack?
It was not, because in 2013, our instrumentation and controls specialist had the foresight to disconnect it from the business system immediately, and because it wasn't connected, it wasn't affected by the hack.
We didn't lose any data.
We didn't lose anything.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Anderson? Executive Director? Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Moving on, construction activities, Mr. Eric Tuck.
Good morning, Board. I'm going to provide a quick update for ongoing construction projects. The first one being the aeration system improvements. Even though this project is basically closed out, we're still trying to find, I guess, a legal way to close this project out, since we withheld retainage and kept it for ourselves to replace the flow meters. So we feel like a certificate of final completion would not be appropriate, but we're trying to find if that letter that our attorney sent is a proper document to close out this project. So we have a meeting, I'd like to schedule a meeting with Attorney Harris to discuss this, hopefully sometime in the near future, so we can get this project off our books.
Will the $18,000 be enough to cover the flow meters?
Yes.
Has everything been replaced?
Yes, we have, excuse me, the flow meters have been replaced, and it was less than $18,000.
Okay. So we're going to essentially take that expense out of the retainage.
That's correct.
Correct.
I thought we kept the entire retainage, didn't we?
18,000.
Yeah. So the balance will keep that too.
Be able to
Yep.
keep that too.
Yes.
So how are they running now?
As far as I know, they're running great. I mean, I can defer to Director Anderson.
Yes, they're running the way they're supposed to, as designed. The system is fully automated.
And saving a lot of money.
It's saving a lot of money.
Moving on with the GRIT project. There was not a meeting, an update meeting recently. It was canceled, but as far as I know, there's just still a few minor punch list items, some with the spare parts list. Just all, I believe it's just all paperwork. I haven't heard from Army Corps of Engineer if this is project getting closed out before the new year. Probably not with it being so close. But the equipment is in, it's running, and everything seems fine to me. For the 27 Chase Street Force Main Replacement Project, this project has been halted for wintertime. Chase and 25th are fully open and will be during the winter months, and this project will get restarted in spring 2024. The 27 Chase Street bar screen replacement project, the electrical subcontractor is doing as much work as demolition work as they can, preparing for the arrival of the new bar screens. The bar screens delay of it being manufactured. I asked the contractor if this is going to delay the project as a whole, and they are still expecting to finish this project on schedule and in budget. The Lake Street drainage improvements and road reconstruction, they did pave from 3rd Avenue to Cypress. I believe that's the name of the street. And that project is being winterized as well and will continue in spring of 2024. And that's all I have.
We're going back to Passion. Passion still the contractor, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I just noticed they hadn't billed us any.
No, their first, yeah, that was discussed at the last progress meeting. That first invoice will be coming shortly.
Okay. All right. Is there any questions for Eric Humph?
Thank you.
Well, you got lucky today, huh?
Yeah, I'd like to say to the board, Merry Christmas if I don't see you before then, and Happy New Year.
Right. Same to you. Where were we at? Mr. McCain.
Good morning and happy Monday.
Hey, what time?
I want to begin with compliance. With the Louisiana Project 2400 block of Louisiana, Mr. Metz, out of the 4 employees, 1 is a Gary resident, which gets us at 25%. With the Grimmer Project, with the Lake Street Project, the latest numbers are 3 out of 10, which is at 30%. I did give you earlier today the add-ons of November 25th, December 2nd, and December 9th. And of the 16 projects Grimmer presented in reference to, 16 reports, 3 were in compliance at 100%, 4 were at 60%, and 9 below 60%. We did receive a letter from Luna, which is their hiring union in Valpo, and I also met with them also personally, and they are making the attempt. They do have many Gary workers on that belong to the union, but none of them are on the out-of-work list because jobs are plentiful. So they do provide Gary workers when they are available, and that's what we really want, the solid attempt of at least trying to get Gary workers. If there aren't any, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip, but we at least want to see the bona fide attempt trying to recruit Gary workers for their particular projects. December 12th, 13th, and 14th, we hosted 3 classes from the 21st century. They were all 9th graders. They were remarkable students. One session, we almost had to cut off the questions because they were asking so many questions and meaningful questions. And I want to personally thank Tim Alston, who presented 2 of the 3 days. We want to thank our Executive Director, Rhonda Anderson, for coming by and welcoming the students. We also want to thank Kevin Brown of the lab and the entire lab staff. They're an integral part of the presentation for the students. Also, I want to thank Tanya Cousins for being my IT person and also making a presentation to the students. And I just want to take a few seconds. I received a letter from Mr. Roy Hamilton, who's the biology teacher who was the sponsor and the chaperone for the program. It says, "Dear Mr. McCain," he says, "I hope this message finds you well. On behalf of the 21st Century Charter School, I want to extend our deepest gratitude to you and the Gary Sanitary District for hosting our recent visit. The experience was an incredible education and eye-opening for our students, providing them with a profound understanding of vital services that GSD offers not only to our region, but also to the other Northwest Indiana cities. The visit offered our students a unique glimpse in an industry often taken for granted. They were fascinated to discover the diverse array of occupations within GSD, which was a surprise to many. Particularly the revelation about summer intern programs sparked significant interest amongst our students. Knowing they can explore an enriching summer employment opportunity right here in Gary, offering not just fair compensation, but also invaluable skills and knowledge, was truly inspiring for them. Our recent study unit in ecology and the importance of environmental maintenance was reinforced remarkably during this visit. Witnessing firsthand how GSD contributes to environmental sustainability resonated deeply with what they learned in the classroom. I must commend the GSD for not only offering this invaluable education experience, but also investing in the future leaders of our community. The impact of such experiences on our students' perspective towards Gary, one of the largest urban areas in Northwest Indiana, is immeasurable. Your team's friendliness and warm welcome made the visit even more memorable. As a taxpayer and a resident of Gary, I firmly believe that the resources and tax dollars allocated for the educational endeavor were exceptionally well utilized. It's experiences like these that shape our future generations and foster deeper understanding of the contributions made by organizations like GSD. In closing, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude once again for the opportunity provided to our students. If there's a possibility to arrange such visits regularly for our students, it would undoubtedly be immensely beneficial. Thank you once again for your commitment to supporting educational initiatives and for contributing to the growth and development of our Gary youth. Sincerely, Roy L. Hamilton, biology teacher, high school and college counselor of the 21st Century Charter School. I also want to point out that the Charter School of the Dunes has dubbed me as the keynote speaker for this coming Black History program in February 24, and I'm excited and honored to be a part of that. Not last but not least, I want to thank all the commissioners for the merit pay. I appreciate you appreciating us. That means a lot. In Louisiana, they call it lagniappe, a little something extra. So we truly appreciate you. And last but not least, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It's really not about the presents that you receive from your loved ones, but being in the presence of your loved ones that really matters. And I'll entertain any questions now.
The last part was pretty touching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you now.
And not just, I mean, you touched on merit pay, but I'm hoping that in the future we can do something to enhance, that we can incentivize employees more to go just a little bit beyond where they are. And we'll have to create another formula.
Everybody's not doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCain.
Thank you. Next, American Structure Point.
Good morning, Board. John Tucker, Structure Point. I don't have any further to add than what Mr. Tonk had on 27th and Chase with winterizing the project out. So I just wanted to wish everyone happy holidays as well. If there's any questions that I can answer, I'd be more than happy to do so.
Any questions about Lake Street?
No.
I'll bring a Lake Street update on the stormwater, but
Yeah, I had a chance to drive down that way this past weekend. So, see you guys doing a fantastic job trying to get it taken care of.
Well, Mother Nature cooperated with us, so we were able to get the pavement all the way up to the top course there, and now it's still, Hawk was out there to do electrical, waiting for the pole service point, so there'll still be work. That'll be ongoing, hopefully, and if weather still cooperates, mid-February, they're talking about coming back to continue to get a jump on everything, so.
How much
hopefully-
more you need to do on, for the Lake Shore Drive, Lake Shore area?
How much more do we have to do?
Yes.
We're only probably about a third of the way through everything
Yeah.
with what happened this year. We didn't make as much progress to Hemlock as we initially wanted to, so we still have a lot of work to be done next year. And we'll be waiting so after the bridge job is done as well to continue the movement further north, but we have a lot to do south of Hemlock.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
John. Next, Matt C.D.M. Smith.
Morning, board. Merry Christmas. Just a couple of updates for you. Had a discussion with IFA last week, and we will be getting approvals for the two projects that we put in for essentially grant funds at 27th and Chase and 15th and Clay. So that's in addition to the bar screen project that'll be funded through the Infrastructure Act. So about $5 million for projects initiated here in 2023. We do have another call tentatively scheduled with them for a few weeks from now to talk about additional dollars after that. So the promise at one point in time was about $20 million over 4 years. So we want to talk to them about what can we do with that additional $15 million in grant funds.
For everyone's benefit, can you explain what the IFA is?
Oh, sure. Sorry, the Indiana Financing Authority. And they are the state entity that is administering the funds that came from the bipartisan infrastructure law that was put into effect a year ago, a little more than a year ago. And so IFA administers those funds, and then we're actually going to be using a state revolving fund loan with 100% principal forgiveness to obtain those dollars. Questions about that? And then lastly, still working with staff here and the EPA on the long-term control plan. We did present to them the latest version of it, and there are continue to be questions from EPA. So we will continue to work with them, although nothing has changed. So
Has that been, the updates, have that been presented to this board?
they have not. We can certainly do that. It might be premature because we continue to get changing goalposts from the EPA. So I'd like to kind of dive into that with them in the first part of next year, and we'd be happy to present it to the board when we have come up with a solution.
Any additional violations?
No.
Okay. Any questions for Matt?
If I could just make a comment on your question regarding the long-term control plan. There isn't an approved version of a long-term control plan to submit. It's an ongoing document that gets worked on. But during these meetings that they have, they do speak with the regulators about what they would find acceptable and what they wouldn't find acceptable. So a lot of that conversation is about coming up to some understanding as to what that's going to look like. Eventually, though, it does come before the board.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make any sense to come up with a plan, bring it to the board for approval, knowing it's going to get rejected by the regulator. So they go through that process, then it comes. So I just wanted to explain that.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
Matt.
you all.
Any questions for Matt? Anybody? Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to discussions. Is there anything any commissioners would like to discuss at this point in time? One thing I will say is that I went out and I did visit the garage, and I hope that in the future that we are able to fully extend that garage. I mean, I walked through it. We're able to get the Vector trucks in, but it's really tight in there. I don't know how old those garages are.
How old is the garage?
Yeah, okay. Well, see, that's what happens when the commissioners don't go out and visit and see some of the facilities. But I was there Friday. I walked from one end of the garage to the other. I know we have a piece of equipment sitting outside that can't fit, or we don't have a bay for it. So I think hopefully in the coming year, we can get some work done over there. And I think we just need a total, and I don't know how we would do it. We probably need a total rebuild, because the garage, it doesn't seem like it's long enough and it's barely tall enough. And you get some time, I would advise you to go take a look at it, and just kind of go through there and try not to bust your head, because those vectors that are in that garage are tight. You know, it's not even a foot additional. So, you know, when that comes before the board, in order to qualify your vote, a lot of times you've got to go out and take a look. You'll see what this executive director and these employees are dealing with, you know, from time to time.
In addition, I was out there myself, and I was talking to one of the employees, and he told me that it's a good possibility you have 5 stalls. You might want to open up one of the stalls and make it additional, and then you'll be able to use that extra room for repairs. If you're looking for repairing widthwise, fine, but if you're looking at repairing lengthwise, you're gonna have to extend out. That's my opinion.
Is there, let's see, I guess professional service contracts are going to be coming to the board next year.
Yes.
They're not going to be.
First meeting in January.
First meeting in January? Okay,
Yes.
we'll visit that at that time. Are there any requests to speak?
No, sir.
Okay. With that, we're at adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Everybody ready? Everybody available? A call to order this meeting of the Gary Stormwater Management District, Monday, December 18th, 2023, 11:30 a.m. Not 11:30, 12 o'clock. Can I get a roll call?
Director Maurice Mabon.
Present?
Director Ola Morris.
Present.
Director Charles Jackson.
Present.
Director Darnell Lyles. Attorney Jewel Harris Jr.
Present.
Executive Director Rhonda Anderson. Finance Manager Jerome Foster. And that's the end of roll call.
4 commissioners available. We have a quorum to conduct business. We're moving on to certification pursuant to Indiana law, section 5-14-1, 5-6.1. I certify that prior to today's meeting, there was an executive session held. There was nothing discussed in the executive session that was not indicated on the posted notice of the executive session, being in compliance with Indiana statute. There were no final votes held during the executive session. Are there any commissioners who wish to dissent the certification? Hearing none, moving on to the minutes.
Meant to do December.
Secretary?
It should have done December.
Accept the executive session meeting of December the 4th.
Darnell, did you have a question? Can I get a second on the minutes? I'm sorry, can I get a motion on the minutes? Been moved, properly second, or are there any discussions regarding the minutes? Hearing none. Can I get the vote?
Director Lyles.
Yeah.
Director Jackson.
Yes.
Director Morris.
Yes.
Director Mabon.
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes, 0 noes, the minutes have been approved. Moving on to new business. Mrs. Anderson.
Thank you. I recommend a motion to approve and ratify GSWMD payroll earnings for period ending November 6, 2023 through November 19, 2023 in the amount of $5,239.77.
You've heard the overview. What is the board's pleasure?
So move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved, properly second. Any discussions regarding 2.1? Hearing none. Ms. Lee, can I get a vote, please?
Director Lyles?
Yes.
Director Jackson?
Yes.
Director Morris?
Yeah.
You want it.
Director Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
Okay, with 4 ayes, 0 noes, 2.1 has been approved. Moving on to 2.2. You've heard the overview. What is the board's pleasure?
Move that.
Second.
It's been moved, properly second. Any questions, additional questions that haven't been addressed regarding 2.2? Hearing none. Ms. Lee, can I get a vote, please?
Director Lyles?
Yep.
Director Jackson?
Yes.
Director Morris?
Yes.
Director Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
With 4 ayes, 0 noes, 2.2 has been approved. Moving on to claims.
Thank you. I recommend a motion to approve and ratify GSWMD claim numbers 215 through 224 in the amount of $79,423.22.
Okay, is there any questions regarding? Hearing none, you've heard the overview. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move that.
Second.
It's been moved, properly second. Any additional questions regarding claims? Hearing none. Ms. Lee, can I get a vote, please?
Director Lyles? Director Jackson?
Yes.
Director Morris?
Yes.
Director Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
4 ayes, 0 noes. Claims have been approved. Before we move on to informational update, what do you? All right, moving on to informational updates. Ms. Brenda Scott Henry.
Good afternoon, board and attendees. You will find in the MS4 report 2 important documents that I've been talking about for a while. One being the Stormwater Quality Management Plan. You will find it right behind the director's report. We have submitted that report to IDEM. Both of these reports to IDEM. But what I want to bring some attention to is, more specifically, is the water quality characterization report. And I encourage you to please read the first 12 pages of that report because it tells you exactly what we're responsible for in the water bodies that we're responsible for, and that falls within the stormwater conveyance system. And that would include how water flows in 7 watersheds. So within Gary boundaries, we have 7 watersheds that we are a part of. And then we have 3 major water bodies in the city of Gary as well. And you know those are the Little Calumet River, the Grand Calumet River, and Lake Michigan. Periodically, we hire a contractor along with our pre-treatment department, and we go out and we monitor both the Little Calumet River and the Grand Calumet River for outfalls during dry weather events. If we, under this new permit that we're with, if we identify water that is discharging out of a pipe during dry weather event, those are things that we will have to evaluate. But the reason I said this is because we have several outfalls along the way. We have a lot of land use that impact water quality, or storm water quality, period. And that happens when it rains and snows. And which is why we're responsible for protecting that stormwater conveyance system, whether it's a ditch, whether it's a river, whether it's the lake. We have a responsibility and a fiduciary responsibility to report that and write it up and turn that information in, record it in our monthly reports. But particularly with construction projects. So under our minimum control measures, which we call MCMs, 4 and 5, we have both construction and post-construction activities that is occurring, which is why it's important that stormwater is included when we are doing development projects, land use projects. We have a due diligence that we play a role in, as well as the Environmental Affairs Department. But just know that this is information about the water system that we have within the city of Gary, and that we are responsible for as a stormwater management district, and to identify those individuals who are source of polluters. That's why we do a lot of enforcement, permitting, and just inspections around the city. Let's see what else on.
You got any control on what, when you report something like that, it's taken care of?
So we take it as far as we can as a city, as a municipality, and then we also use the assistance of the state, and then even sometimes to a federal level if it gets that far.
Have you reported anything like this? What results?
So once we report it to IDEM, then it's moved up to the state, and then the state takes enforcement actions as well. What did you ask me? Have we done one before?
Reported anything like this?
Yes.
What actions were taken?
The actions that we take is to.
Were taken.
Taken against the individual. So I don't want to call out one, but we do have several cases that are going on in the city. Right near the Little Calumet River, where not only this individual is in under enforcement actions with the state, and he's dealing with both EPA, IDNR, stormwater, IDEM, to make them improve and ratify the errors, whether it's disturbing wetlands or you're doing construction on a brownfield without approvals, those type of things. So,
Okay.
yes, we do. Yes, we do
I'll
have
come back to you
instances.
later.
So, and then there are others, of course, you know that because you're a part of my
I
committee,
understand.
that we have issues with. Okay. Oh, so you guys missed me last board meeting.
Yeah, we did.
So I just wanted to address that a little bit. I was on vacation
Okay.
for 10 days that I worked 2 of. It was impossible, but I did do my best to take a vacation. I tried to take a leave of vacation.
Actually, can I say something? I appreciate you. One of those days you was working with me to help get the budget. So I really appreciate you taking the time out to get that for us. Made my life a little bit easier. So I really appreciate that.
No problem. I'm just sorry y'all did check on me.
Yeah, yeah. We're reversing everything.
I do still look at my text messages all the time. I mean, nobody even texts saying, "Hey, Brenda, where are you?" I'm like, vacation.
Yeah. Kind of guided after.
Okay. Thank you guys for checking on me, though. I'm glad I was missed. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to respond.
Any questions for Brenda Scott Henry?
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.
Right. Thanks. Thanks for your report. Next, American Structure Point. We may have talked about it earlier, but
Yes, John Tucker Structure Point, I did provide the Lake Street update, so if there's anything further besides it is paved and winterizing and hopefully resume work early spring next year. Yes, sir. They're hoping for mid-February, March, to resume work with the underground work between Cypress and Hemlock, where it's drivable, but not the best shape. We'll tear that out, the concrete, to begin the underground work. So they get a jump on that work before plans, concrete work, and the weather really allows them to do any of like the finish work. That would have to happen. But yes, yes, that'll be one of the conversations with the contractor, so we can get notices back out to residents of how it's affected and do a little bit more of that public outreach to make sure everyone's aware of resuming work. Yes.
right.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thanks, John.
Happy holidays.
Same to you. Next, Robinson Engineering.
Good morning, directors. Ron Smith from Robinson Engineering, and happy holidays to everybody. Just a brief update, the Sixth Place project, we did submit a redesign per the comments to the engineering department. We're waiting to hear back from the engineering department upon their review. So that's all we're waiting on. The Lake Street Bridge, number 243 on Lake Street, that project has been winterized, and that'll start back up in the spring for completion of the rehabilitation of that bridge. The citywide street resurfacing project is completed except one street, 19th and Ellsworth, working with the Gary Stormwater Management District on a severely broken pipe at that area. So hopefully we can get that fixed, and may have to wait till next year to finish the paving on that. So that's all I have this afternoon for the directors, and I will entertain any questions that you may have.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
I was out there the other day, again, in the area. What do you mean by winterized? And
Winterized. The contractor had to do some asphalt patching just to make the area secured just for the winter. So that's all. Just clean up and tidy up everything. That's all.
also, how the bridge been going to be replaced, repaired? or
No, the
what?
bridge is going to be rehabilitated. So we want to keep the historical integrity of the bridge. So some portions of the bridge were replaced, other portions will just be rehabilitated. So, but it'll be like it's almost brand new.
Okay, so you replaced the bridge at all.
No, the bridge will not be 100% replaced. No, not at all.
I was looking for something to be done, like you guys were saying, you know, they're going to replace the bridge, this, that, and another. And now you're saying it's going to be rehabilitated.
Yes, we're always rehabilitating a bridge and not replacing the entire structure because we want to keep the historical integrity of the bridge.
Okay, so you had what are these stones and things you got up beside leading up to the bridge on each side? White stones?
That's a good question. I don't know offhand. Structure Point designed the bridge, though.
What are those stones? Why are they there? Nobody knows.
Where the Longworth side or
Up to the bridge itself, from the beach area, I noticed coming that way on the outside.
Some wing walls or some riprap over
I
there?
was just gonna say,
Yeah, so,
is that riprap for erosion control?
Not be too far.
yeah. I'll have to get back with you on that, Director.
Did they replace anything under the bridge?
Yes, we relocated the force main, all the utilities, so the up under the bridge will be rehabbed as well, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you some photos, how about that?
I was out there the other day.
Were you under the bridge?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
They got the pumps, they're pumping the water, sewer lines and water lines, et cetera.
Just the force main got got replaced on the bridge that was hanging on the bridge, so. The force main was for the sanitary. Yes, so.
The fourth main, what has it been pumped by?
It's being pumped by, what is it over there? Lift station that was over there? It was a lift station that was over there, so. So because we were doing a rehabilitation of the bridge and we had to take it off of the bridge and we ran the force main up under the lagoon, so.
Yeah, just
They did the force main too, so. Structure point.
Are you guaranteeing it won't leak? You are guaranteed. Now, if it does leak, who shall we blame? Okay. All right, that's enough.
Well, you
Question?
checking for leaks, aren't you?
Checking through. Paying that kind of money.
Yeah.
The Army Corps of Engineers doing that, right? Or are they not?
No, that bridge is owned by Lake County, so Lake County is paying for the bridge improvements.
What the?
Not over there, not with regards to the bridge.
All right, thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Any additional questions for Robinson Engineer?
Thank you, and again, happy holidays, everybody.
We're at discussions, and I did want to touch on one thing. The attorney brought to my attention that we have a schedule.
Yeah, our board meeting schedule for 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's ever any changes, obviously the board can amend those, but I would recommend you take a vote on the schedule that's included in your board packet.
Okay. It's going to be okay with me either way, so.
You have it handy?
Yeah, he's looking at his back, from his back.
Here you go.
Have the commissioners viewed the tentative board meeting schedule for next year? Do you have any challenges with it? Darnell, you have any challenges?
I do not.
You have not? Okay, well, we'll take a vote on that schedule.
You need one?
Can I get a motion?
I'll move for approval of the board's 2024 meeting schedule.
Is there a second? Is there a second on the meeting schedule?
Yeah.
Been moved properly. It's been moved properly second. Any discussions regarding the meeting schedule for next year?
You said it's been second.
That's has been moved properly second. Is there any discussions or anything anybody has to discuss? Okay, hearing none. Can I get a vote?
Director Lyles?
Yes.
Director Jackson?
Yes.
Director Morris?
Yes.
Director Maybon?
Yes.
The vote is 4 ayes, 0 noes.
Ayes, 0 noes. The meeting tentative schedule for next year has been approved, and we want to make sure we pass that on to the incoming administration so they can know what the schedule for meetings are next year. Is there anything else anybody has to say? Any requests to speak?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Been moved properly second. Happy holidays. It's been an interesting year. And hopefully we can resume this next year.